Soviet Union. On Jan 1st, 1991, the Soviet Union was the largest country in the world, nearly 1/6 of Earth's land surface. But beneath the surface, its economy was collapsing, corruption was rampant, and republics like Ukraine were demanding independence. On March 11, 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev was named General Secretary of the Communist Party of Soviet Union. Gorbachev instituted the policies of political openness that intended to foster dialogue, but his reforms backfired, accelerating the breakup. In December 1991, the USSR dissolved. Russia inherited most of the land and nuclear weapons, but lost control over 40 new nations. Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia was kind of an experiment. Imagine you put 6 different ethnic groups under one flag. So you had Serbs, Croats, Bosniaks, Slovenians, Macedonians and Montenegrins. And for a while it actually worked, especially under this strong leader called Tito. He kept the whole thing glued together. But after he died in the 80s, nationalism started boiling over. Everyone wanted more autonomy and things went downhill very fast. By the early 90s, the whole place was unraveling. Civil wars broke out, cities like Sarajevo under siege, and the country basically tore itself apart. Today, all its former parts are independent, but tensions remain, especially in the Bosnia and Kosovo still today. Tibet. From 1913 to 1951, Tibet functioned as an independent Buddhist theocracy. That ended in 1950 when China invaded, crushing Tibet's small army and forcing leader to sign the so-called 17th Point Agreement under military threat. The Dalai Lama fled into exile after a failed 1959 uprising. Tibet still remains under tight Chinese control. Surveillance is very intense. Monasteries are monitored and any mention of independence is censored. It's sad, but it's true. East Germany. After World War II, Germany actually split. The East became a Soviet-controlled state and East Germany built the Berlin Wall in 1961 to stop people from fleeing. Over 1 lakh East Germans attempted escape and at least 138 were killed. Behind the wall, life was bleak. Shortage, secret police and propaganda. In 1989, protests erupted and the wall fell. A year later, East Germany rejoined the West, but economic and cultural divides still exist today. Austria-Hungary. Austria-Hungary was a multinational empire ruled by Habsburg dynasty, home to German, Hungarians, Czechs, Poles, Croats and many more. But World War I changed everything. The assassination of French Ferdinand in Sarajevo triggered a vicious war, and the empire couldn't survive it. By 1918, it broke into several new countries: Austria, Hungary, Czechoslovakia and parts of modern-day Poland, Romania and also the Balkans. Czechoslovakia. Now this one is very interesting. Unlike many other in the list, Czechoslovakia didn't collapse. It simply split. After decades under communism, it becomes a democracy in 1989, but Slovaks felt economically and politically overshadowed by Czechs. Instead of fighting, leaders from both the sides agreed to separate. On Jan 1st, 1993, the Velvet Divorce created 2 countries, known as Czech Republic and Slovakia. No war, no bloodshed, just a peaceful handshake between 2 nations. South Vietnam. Now we all know there is a long history of Vietnam. During the Cold War, Vietnam was split in 2. The communist North that was backed by China and the USSR, and the anti-communist South supported by US for 20 years. South Vietnam held on, but in 1975 the US force withdrew and North Vietnamese troops captured Saigon. The war left over 2 million people dead. Today Vietnam is one country, but still in Vietnam Americans communities the South's old flag flies in exile. Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire lasted over 600 years and once stretched from Budapest to Mecca. But by the 1900s, it was losing war and facing nationalist uprising. After backing the wrong side in World War I, the empire was dismantled. Modern-day Turkey emerged while its Arab provinces became British and French mandates like Iraq, Syria and Lebanon. The empire's fall left deep scars in the Middle East that still save conflict today. Rhodesia. Now this one is actually interesting. In 1965, white settlers in southern Africa declared the independent country called Rhodesia without majority black rule. The move sparked sanctions, international outrage and a bloody civil war. After almost 14 years of conflict, Rhodesia transitioned to major rule in 1980. It became Zimbabwe led by Robert Mugabe. While independence was a victory, Zimbabwe's later economic collapse shows that freedom doesn't guarantee prosperity. Sikkim. Sikkim was a Buddhist kingdom nested in the Himalayas. For centuries, it remained independent even after India gained independence in 1947. But in 1975, rising tension with the monarchy led to a referendum. With over 97% voting in favor, Sikkim became India's 22nd state. Some debate the fairness of the vote, but today Sikkim is fully integrated, though it still holds onto its royal and religious heritage.